Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien on the morning of Saturday, June 4th, 2022. And today, I want to be sitting in for Paul Harvey today and give you a special commentary. So here you go. Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien sitting in for Paul Harvey today and doing a special commentary that Mr. Harvey and the boss up there would have liked. An injustice was finally and utterly righted, although it took them a long time. And I'm calling an injustice in sports. The injustice was corrected, should have been corrected a long time ago, but was corrected finally. And I hope he is over there with Mr. Harvey and the boss. I'm talking about Gil Hodges, the former great of the Dodgers and the manager of the 1969 amazing Mets, was finally put in the Hall of Fame. The Mets, although not giving enough credit because the way they play, you know the Mets, poor Mets. Oh, that's my team, poor Mets. Oh, you poor Mets. You got clobbered by the Dodgers last night. But you can hold your head high, Mets, because you corrected the injustice a long time ago. After his death in 1972 from a heart attack at age 47, Gil Hodges, and still is, no matter which coach you had, even the 1986 Mets, who won the World Series, the 1969 Mets are always going to outshine the 1986 Mets, and that's not being a disgrace or a disservice to the 86 team. It's just that the 1969 team had some players that the 86 teams didn't have. The 86 teams had good players, but they had bad reputations. Doc Gooden and Darryl Strawberry. And you guys alive, you know what I mean. So does Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden, if they read this in the video. Because they knew they threw their careers away with drugs. And that happens. Unfortunately, to them, they could have had good seasons, better than they had. But the 69 Mets, they had a coach at not quite 45 years old at the time that was a heck of a player. Back in his days with the Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers, that is, before they moved to California, and he was on this downside up the golden years of his career, they call it. But you know what it is. The golden years of the careers are usually your worst ones, right? But anyway, Mr. Hodges, he is responsible for Jackie Robinson. I've read a lot about Gil Hodges, and I know Vince Scully would agree with me that he was. Because he played on the same side of the infield as Mr. Robinson. He was in his neighborhood. And there was this one day I remember reading about a game that they played in St. Louis. They were chasing a ball, and all of a sudden a beer bottle came out of the stands. And according to Mr. Vince Scully, who was a broadcaster for the Dodgers, Gil Hodges put his tap Jackie Robinson on the back and said, "We're in it together, boy." And he meant, boy, as a good omen for you guys who take everything out of heart and out of syntax these days, both African Americans and whites. This is a problem with your society. But Gil Hodges, his number was retired by the New York Mets a long time ago. And finally, the Dodgers have decided to do the same thing. Oh, it took them a long time, didn't it? Oh, man, it hasn't taken it a long time. So the injustice is finally corrected. The New York Mets corrected it a long time ago. It's about time he became in the Hall of Fame, even though he's gone. But at least his wife is still around and his daughter is still around to accept the honor. An injustice has been corrected. Can you do the same for your society, Americans? With your guns, your mass shootings, can you do the same? Correct your society and correct an injustice. Correct the Supreme Court and correct an injustice that's coming up. And an injustice against the African Americans and Japanese. And no, reparations is not the answer. You tried to pay money to the Japanese, and the African Americans look at that and now they want money. That is not the answer to injustice. What the New York Mets and the Dodgers did is the answer to injustice to people. Correct the item, even though late. And the New York Mets, I would advise the Los Angeles Dodgers to, when they retire number 14 today, please make a note that you retired it too late and you're correcting an injustice. Sitting in for Paul Harvey today, this is your favorite alien. Good day.